What's up, guys? And today we're doing X-Men Days of Future Past. This is the latest X-Men movie, the Hip Feeders, and yeah, we're going to be reviewing it. Now, be warned, this will contain spoilers from the movie and the comic book, so if you don't want spoilers, just click away. Click away from this video right now. I'll give you a second to click away. Are you gone? Okay. So people who did say, let's begin. So it starts off with us seeing the dystopian future of 2014. And it's in New York City, basically. It's like destruction, chaos, a dark sky, a giant hole for a building we're seeing, and it looks like the Empire State Building. And we see these humans, or mutants, I believe they're humans, who are in these places called camps. They're being, which are places that the robots called the Sentinels take them to. Afterwards, basically, we didn't see this random person, I'm not sure who, is getting rid of the dirt on the ground, and she reveals the X symbol. And we didn't see the opening credits and the X-Men Days of Future Past logo, and it kind of made me feel like it was like sort of an intro to like an episode from a cartoon series, which I thought was cool. After we then see these ships dropping down 3 Sentinels to this warehouse, and then we see, I have a list of the actors who played the characters because I feel like I should name them. We then see the X-Men known as Warpath. The X-Men known as Warpath, played by Boo Boo Stewart, and Blink, played by Bing Bing Fan, are there. And Warpath has the ability to can see really far and can tell when they're arriving. And yeah, I'm sorry, the light was. I thought something was wrong. Anyway, so basically, he can sense really far. He uses knives and stuff. Blink can create portals for people to jump through. That's pretty cool. So they jump through a portal to the underground part of the building, and meeting up with the other X-Men members, including the 2 other new members, known as Bishop, played by Omar Sy, and Sunspot, played by Adam Canto. Now, Bishop can absorb energy and place it into his gun, while Sunspot can lit his entire body on fire and fly, and he can shoot fire. And we also see some returning X-Men faces, including Colossus, played by Daniel Cudmore, and Kitty Pryde, aka Shadowcat, played by Ellen Page. So Bishop Sunspot gives Bishop some energy, and then her and Kitty just run away. Colossus, Sunspot, Blink, and not Blink. Colossus, Sunspot, and Warpath stay. And a Sentinel comes in, and they start fighting him. Afterwards, Blink meets up with Iceman, played by Shawn Ashmore, he doesn't come out of a portal to fight a Sentinel that's chasing Kitty and Bishop, which now it looks dark in the image. Sorry. Basically, afterwards, he then does his famous ice slide in the comics, and also his skin turns to ice, not his entire body, just his skin, which is pretty cool, and starts freezing the Sentinel. Afterwards, afterward, we then see Colossus fight a Sentinel. But when he tries punching it, the Sentinel twists his arm and starts beating him to the ground and beats him dead. And Sunspot starts burning one of the Sentinels, but he dies. For how Iceman's blasting one of the Sentinels, but in the process, one of the Sentinels grabs onto his neck and squeezes it so hard, apparently, or burnt it so hard, I think, melts it his head. Then just falls off in ice mode, and then they just step on it, basically. Which was this really brutal for Iceman. Afterwards, during all this chaos, Bishop and Kitty are in a random room, and Bishop's on a table while Kitty's doing this to his head with a glow around them and stuff. So yeah, unsure what that is. So Warpath and Blink are the only ones left alive, and Warpath's injured, so Blink saves her, but of course a Sentinel stabs his arm through the portal, stabbing her. So Warpath tries to stop them, jumps towards them, and they get blasted. So sorry about that, Warpath. And they basically get into the area where Kitty and Bishop is, and Kitty basically just goes, "You're too late." Hey, it was she said she said this, "You're too late." Hey, ass. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. And basically, everything just disappears. They disappeared, bodies disappeared, the Sentinels. It's really strange. We then get a zoom. We then see a person's eyeball, and when we zoom out of the person's eyeball, it's Professor X, played by Patrick Stewart. And basically, he's in the X-Jet or the Blackbird. I've heard it called the X-Jet and the Thunderbird, and the Blackbird before, but I call it X-Jet. So basically, they land in this like old ruin, with Professor X coming out, with of course some his other friends like Magneto, played by Ian McKellen, Storm, played by Halle Berry, and of course everyone's favorite Claude Wolverine, and played by Hugh Jackman. I just said everyone's favorite Claw. I mean everyone's favorite Clawed mutant Hugh Jackman. And Bishop walks out of the building, encountering them, but we see the other characters are still alive and well. We see Kitty, Iceman, Colossus, Sunspot, Blink, and Warpath. They're all fine. They're not dead. And how's that possible? Well, this is what Kitty explains. So basically, every time the Sentinels attack them, she sends Bishop's mind back in time. This is what she was doing with her hands around his head. She sends his mind back in time to his younger body, a couple days or weeks ago, or months, to warn the others about the Sentinels. So once he does that, they're fine. But this keeps happening over and over and over again, so they have to keep doing it. So basically afterwards, the Professor X explains how this chaos happened, and all this chaos has happened by Mystique, and shows a flashback from the 1973, and we see Mystique, played by Jennifer Lawrence, shooting a guy named Boulevard Trask, played by Peter Dinklage, who's the one who created the Sentinels. Charles explains that he grew up with her, he grew up with her, and she killed Trask, which forced people to now create Sentinels against the mutants, and they captured her, studied her to make the Sentinels, basically, and stuff. But that's what happened. So, Professor wants Kitty to send his mind back in time to his younger body, but Kitty says his body won't survive the trip, and it will get like ripped apart. Yeah. Like she can send him back in time a couple of weeks, days, or months, but not years. But Wolverine suggests, what if someone could go back in time and pull themselves back together, and while being ripped apart. So that's the reason why he's being sent back in time also. Originally in the comics it was Kitty Pryde who went back in time, the futurist version, but in the cartoon show it was Bishop, so yeah, difference. So basically, Warpath, Blink, Colossus, Sunspot, Storm, and Bishop are guarding the outside, while Magneto, Professor X, Wolverine, Kitty, and Iceman are inside, and they tell Wolverine when he goes back in time to find the young and old Xavier and Xavier Magneto to help them. So basically, then Kitty tells him to keep his mind calm, or it would interfere with stuff. So yeah, basically after that, he gets them back in time, wakes up in bed with a girl. So yeah, and kills some people. He kills people once he has bone claws. Let's skip over that. Afterwards, he takes a car and finds Charles Xavier's mansion. And when he goes up to the door, he finds a young version of Hank McCoy, played by Nicholas Hoult, and he tells him that he's Hank McCoy, and Wolverine goes, "You're Beast," and like he says, a little too late or early, I forget what. After he walks in, and he keeps telling him to leave, but Wolverine tells him, "You and I are gonna be good friends," then just punches him and goes, "You just don't know yet." So he then walks up the staircase looking for Professor, but of course he beasts out. It's sort of like a Hulk kind of thing. It sort of looked like he was calm, and he just punched him and then beast out. It's kind of weird. And then we finally see, where is it? There it is. We finally see the young Charles Xavier, played by James McAvoy. I think that's right. I think I'm butchering his name. I'm sorry about that, but I think that's right. Afterwards, he comes out and he's walking. He's not in his wheelchair. What's up with that? I have no idea. Basically, Wolverine explained that he's in the future and stuff that they need to, and basically and stuff that what did he say? Oh, they need to stop Mystique from killing this guy and stuff. But Charles doesn't want to because he's lost everything. Like Eric, Raven, which is her real name. Basically, Beast explains to him how he can transform from human to beast and how he can walk. It's a serum created where he can control his transformation, but when Charles does it, he'll have to get rid of his mind reading abilities to walk. So yeah. Afterwards, Charlton decides to help, but just for Raven, basically. Afterwards, soon, he tells them that they need to get also Magneto, but they tell him that he's the one who killed JFK, and because get it, the bullet curving stuff. So yeah, that's actually pretty ingenious. And they tell him he's locked away 100 feet underneath concrete, and in X2, in X-Men 1 and 2, they had him in a glass room, so he would be able to break out. Concrete, that's safer. But yeah. Afterwards, they need to get inside there, but they don't know how to, since it's a secure facility. But Wolverine knows a guy known as Pietro Maximoff, who is known as Quicksilver, played by Evan Peters. They come to his house, and they're seeing him running around the room and stuff, and basically, it looks like he's teleporting, but he's actually running. So they get his help. He infiltrates the base and breaks Magneto out, makes a reference to how he's his father and stuff, which is pretty cool. Basically afterwards, when Charles and Wolverine meet up with them, Charles tells him to play on my rules, you do what I say. And when the cops are about to shoot at them, Eric does something to almost kill them. Charles says no, but time starts slowing down as Quicksilver is the best scene in the film, where Quicksilver is running around, bouncing around the walls. We actually see him run this time. The most stupidest thing, he takes the guard's hat and takes two guys' fists and puts them up to both their heads. Takes one, taps one on the cheek, which you think wouldn't hurt, but to him, with the speed he's running at, that feels like getting a punch to the jaw. So afterwards, when he sees the bullets coming at the guys, he basically just shoves them to the side, which is pretty awesome. Afterwards, everyone's okay. Which was probably the best scene ever, and then they just say goodbye to him, they get rid of him, which kind of sucks. I should also mention one part in the film, Mystique realizes that frees X-Men characters known as Havoc, Ink, Toad, and Spike from a Stryker who we saw in X2 and X-Men Origins Wolverine, which is terrible. But yeah, afterward, basically, she also discovers Trask was studied on some mutants, which are the dead mutants that Eric references. Eric says that Banshee, Emma Frost, Azale, Angel, and the tornado guy who are all dead, basically. So yeah, that happens, and finally afterwards, in the process, soon they have a nice flight, and when I finally meet up with Mystique, they do save Trask, but Magneto's about to kill her so that he can save the future. So yeah, basically still afterwards, Wolverine process something happens, and he sees something that reminds him of his past, which makes him accidentally cut Kitty in the future, which makes him lose a bit of his memories, but the memories come back. Afterwards, Beast tries to stop Magneto from killing Mystique. Then Mystique gets away, luckily. Magneto tries to find her. But yeah, afterwards, they lost both of them, and they get back to the X-Mansion, and Charles starts getting paralyzed again, and he reads Logan's mind again, and he says, you're saying, I think it was you think we're not going to win. You think we're not going to win this. But Logan then says, you're right. They're actually going to send you instead, and something like that. But I was the one who survived the trip. So afterwards, he takes his wheelchair to Cerebros and is about to find Mystique, but his mind's really rusty. Oh yeah, I should mention that Magneto tried to ask him, Mystique, are you Charles's Raven or Mystique? Something like that, but she didn't want to answer, so she just leaves. Back to Charles, like I said, his mind's rusty, not using it in a while, and Cerebro. My voice is sore, sorry. Afterwards, basically, he tells him to read Logan's mind, but he finds the bad memories, but then finds the good memories, and he'll go to the future somehow to talk to his old self, and asks him, we need you to hope again. So he does. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, the young Magneto is played by Michael Fassbender. How did I miss that? He was the last guy on this list. Well, now that we're done with this, afterwards, basically, they do find Mystique, but they can't convince her. And afterwards, you didn't see a scene of Magneto doing something with the Sentinels, messing them up at the train tracks and stuff. I'm not sure what he was doing, but he was like, we learn about what he was doing a couple of minutes later in the film. And afterwards, we then see the Sentinels attacking the X-Men in the future. So they have to try and stop them. So Bishop is firing at them. Storm's attacking. Magneto's attacking. They think they won, and Magneto gets hurt. So afterwards, they think they won, but a Sentinel comes out of nowhere, stabbing Storm and throwing her off the edge. And basically afterwards, they shoot a lot of energy into Bishop, which then makes him explode. So Magneto then brings a bunch of metal onto the door to block it off. And yeah, afterwards Blink sends him back inside, where Iceman and Charles notices that he's injured. And yeah, so there's an epic fight going on and stuff. Afterwards, basically, we got back to the past where Charles, Hank, and Wolverine are now at the at the conference where the President, Stryker, and Trask are now saying that these are going to will stop your mutants, but they finally find Mystique who's about to kill Trask, but they stop her in time. And afterwards, basically, Sentinels get revealed, and Magneto takes control of them and also lifts up the stadium, which is insane. And afterwards, Beast and Wolverine have a funny moment where Beast goes I know I shouldn't be asking this right now, but in the future, do I make it? And he was like, no. And he just looks at him like this. And basically he goes, but we can change that. And so basically they start fighting Sentinels and stuff. Afterwards, it also cuts, the President, Stryker, and Trask go into some secret vault, but Magneto pulls it out and throws Wolverine into the water, basically, which is pretty nuts, insane. Afterwards, basically, he starts giving them a speech that mutants are the new rules of the Earth, and the other mutants are watching, like Havoc, Toad, Spike, and Ink, and we're seeing scenes from the future where we're seeing the other X-Men die, like Colossus gets ripped in two, Sunspot gets his arm cut off and gets stabbed, Blink gets stabbed 3 times. I don't know what happened to Warpath. Anyways, Iceman then starts blocking off the path so they don't get in. And so yeah, but in the process they do get in and start burning Iceman. But yeah, in the process also soon afterwards, I think Mystique turned into either the President or Stryker, I forget. Yeah, the President. And they're trying to stop Magneto, and stuff happened, I forget what. They knock out. She shoots Magneto in the neck, but he didn't die. But I'm not sure how. Getting shot to the neck, you should die. And afterwards, Mystique's about to kill Trask, but Charles is trying to convince him not to, and the Sentinels are already about to kill the future Magneto, Charles, and Wolverine and Kitty in the future, and the last minute Mystique doesn't, and everything's safe and fine. So now Logan afterwards gets his body found by actually no, not yet. They soon decide to let Magneto go and Mystique leave and stuff, and Trask gets arrested. Wolverine wakes up and finds that everything's fixed, but some stuff is different. Bobby is still, Iceman is still dating Rogue, which sucks. And Kitty's teaching a class with Colossus. Storm's okay. Jean and Scott are alive. Charles is okay. But yeah, it also reveals that Stryker found Wolverine in the water, but it wasn't Stryker. It was actually Mystique in the sky. So he doesn't have his adamantium claws. He has his bone claws, which suck. But yeah, afterwards the credits roll. Even though all the says that at one point all the X-Men movies there have been, but it should have just said X-Men 1, X2, and Days of Future Past, since Bryan Singer didn't work on the other ones. I think he did. I forget. Whatever. I know he didn't work on X-Men 3. But still, it was nice to see them do that. But that's not really important. I'm not even sure why I'm talking about it. Afterward, we see the after credit scene, which shows a guy in a hood just doing this, creating, forging the pyramids. And what were they saying? What were they saying? It's a hard thing It's a hard thing to remember what they were saying. I think it was Sabin, I forget what they were saying, but they were hail something, and it shows a blue. It's a little boy who has blue skin, and it's secretly an X-Men villain known as Apocalypse, who's the first mutant and who's really deadly. And we see 4 horsemen who's He's basically his men. The Four Horsemen are his loyal subjects, who sometimes are like, I can be like the brainwashed X-Men. So yeah, that film came out in 2016. But yeah, now for Days of Future Past itself. This is the best X-Men film out so far until we see X-Men Apocalypse. This is just really great. There's action, comedy, all your good characters are there, all of your favorite ones. I mean, like just a good story. I give it really just a 10 out of 10. It's like just fantastic. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more reviews or videos coming your way. Like, favorite, comment, subscribe, do all the good stuff, and I'll catch you guys later.